Welcome back to Market Headlines. Minister of SOE Eric Thohir asked the state-owned enterprises to pay more dividends. The minister even emphasized that dividend payments is still one of the key performance indicators in SOE performance evaluations.
Minister of State-Owned Enterprises Eric Thohir asked the state-owned company to pay more dividends. The minister even set a minimum limit for SOE dividend payments. This policy will be the basis for calculating the amount of share of profits distributed to employees. The minimum limit dividends policy is claimed to boost the contribution of SOE's royalties and dividend taxes from 400 trillion rupiah in 2018 to 700 trillion rupiah in 2024. According to the minister, this target could only be achieved by boosting SOE net profits and increasing the percentage of dividends. Meanwhile, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Eric Thohir admitted that SOE dividend payments in 2021 are estimated to drop by 50%. This estimation is in line with the decline in SOE performance in the first quarter of 2020. To overcome this, a decrease in dividends will be carried out by SOEs to maintain the company's cash flow. However, Eric Thohir said that there were still 10% of SOEs in certain sectors whose performance remained good amid the pandemic, such as health, technology, and food. From all sources, IDX Channel.
SOE Minister Eric Thohir has committed to continuously increase the SOE dividend payments. But how exactly is the realizations of SOE dividend payments? Before going further, let's start with the SOE dividend payment data in 2018 on the next graphic. Here it is. Through the next graphic, we can see the data regarding SOE dividends contributions in 2018. First thing first, we're going to see the banking sectors and the two of the top of the list. First of all, Bank BRI with the value with a 20.6 trillion rupiah in dividend. And meanwhile, for the second place, still from the banking sectors, we got Bank Mandiri with a value of a dividend by 16.49 trillion rupiah. And moving on to Telkom Indonesia as a telecommunications issuer, that distribute dividends to its shareholders by 8.65 trillion rupiah in 2018. And Pertamina as a non-listed company in Indonesia Stock Exchange by 8.56 trillion rupiah. And also from the banking sectors again, in the top 5, we got 2.3 trillion rupiah distributions of dividends by Bank BNI, and also we got Inalum for 1.91 trillion rupiah, and Jasara Harja by 1.26 trillion rupiah, and Pegadaian by 1 trillion rupiah, and Pupuk Indonesia by 0.76 trillion rupiah dividend. And the data in 2018 shows that the state-owned banks are the main contributors to the government dividends. So it is not wrong if we call banks as the main pulse of the Indonesian's economy. Also, from these data, we can simply conclude that not only public companies that can be the biggest contributor for the dividends. We may take a look at Pertamina, which has consistently been one of the biggest contributors to the dividends. It's, of course, in line with the shares ownerships that Indonesia's government fully own Pertamina. FYI, based on the Pertamina's financial report in 2018, these oil and gas companies successfully posted 2.53 billion US dollar net profit, or equivalent to 36 trillion rupiah. Even in the same year, Pertamina has succeeded to carry out the formations of oil and gas holdings, so that Pertamina's oil and gas business becomes stronger and integrated. What an achievement. And now I'd like to show you the latest SOE dividend contributions to the next graphic. Here it is. We can see state-owned enterprise dividend contributions in banking sector. As an example, we got Bank BRI as the foremost company in distributing its dividend. First of all, the net profit of Bank BRI itself in 2019, it is in 34.4 trillion rupiah. And the total dividends for its shareholders, they distributed as much as 20.6 trillion rupiah. And for Bank BRI, government shares ownership hit 56.75%, while the government's dividend portions goes to 11.76 trillion rupiah. And as a state-owned bank with the largest dividend contributions, the bank did not deny that COVID-19 pandemic shook the bank industry. However, on the other hand, BRI is confident because the strategy that was previously prepared is in line with the conditions of the corona outbreak that rely on digital technology approaches. Not only developing and the infrastructure for digital services, President Director of BRI, Sunarso, emphasized that the bank will also sharpen the credit segment on the digital business platform in the MSE sectors and not only banking sectors. Biggest dividend contributor comes from the telecommunication sector, and to get the clearer information, let's see it through the next graphic. Here it is. We can see in the telecommunication sector we got Telkom Indonesia that distribute its dividend to shareholders in a big amount as well. We got the data about the net profit in 2019 of Telkom Indonesia that hit 18.66 trillion rupiah. And from the whole net profit, Telkom Indonesia distributed dividends for the shareholders by 15.26 trillion rupiah. And meanwhile, in the other hand, Telkom Indonesia's government shares ownership hit 52.09%, while the government's dividend portions hit 7.95 trillion rupiah. And in detail, Telkom dividends consist of cash dividends as much as 60% of the 2019 net profit, reaching 11.19 trillion rupiah, or 113.03 rupiah per share. And also special dividends worth 21.78% from the net profit, or 4.64 trillion rupiah. Meanwhile, in the terms of company's performance throughout 2019, Telkom recorded a net profit of 18.6 trillion rupiah, or grew by 3.5% year-on-year. Telkom's positive performance was contributed by the revenue from the data business and information technology services segment, which rose by 11%, and IndiHome, which grew by 28% in 2019. Well, that's a bold highlight from Telkom Indonesia. So let's see the other dividend contributor in the next graphic. Here it is. We can see through the different perspective of mining sector. We got an example for the Bukit Asam that distributes dividend to the shareholders as much as 3.65 trillion rupiah, while the net profit itself in 2019 reached 4.1 trillion rupiah. As we can see, the dividend payout ratio is really big in here. And we can say the Bukit Asam or PTBA government share ownership hit 65.93%. And of course, the government dividend portions reached 2.4 trillion rupiah. One of the interesting things is that dividend payout ratio of Bukit Asam hit 90%, or much higher than the dividend payout ratio in 2017 and also 2018, which was only 75% of the net profit. President Director of Bukit Asam itself, Arfian Arifin, even revealed that the dividend ratio of 90% was the largest in Bukit Asam's histories, and perhaps the biggest among listed state-owned enterprises today. Despite distributing large amounts of dividends, the director said that the company's liquidity is still sufficient. As the first quarter of 2020, this mining company has cash and cash equivalents of 7.5 trillion rupiah. The company again ensures that the cash flow and liquidity is continuously maintained, especially to overcome the business challenges in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic. Viewers, there is still another sector that contributed a big dividend to the Indonesian government. And to know more, let's go to the next graphic. Here it is, we got from the construction sector, and we got an example from PT PP as a constructions and investment company. Here it is, we can see the data of this company net profit in 2019 that reaching 930.32 billion rupiah. And how about the dividend contributions? The company have to distribute the dividend for shareholders reaching 209.32 billion rupiah. And meanwhile, the company's government share ownership hit 51%, almost half of the company's share ownerships, and also the government's dividend payout ratio, which means government's dividend portions, is in 106.75 billion rupiah. And as one of the biggest dividend contributors, it means that the company's performance is always smooth. Based on financial report in 2019, the company was only able to record a net profit of 930 billion rupiah. This amount has dropped by 38% compared to the net profit in 2018. However, based on the latest performance data, PT PP has succeeded in becoming the SOE in construction sector with the largest contract acquisitions in March 2020, where the acquisitions of the new contracts until May reached around 7.5 trillion rupiah. And of course, it is a good achievement amidst the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. So we hope that we will never stop the positive performance from these SOE, and stay tuned to market headlines because we will be right back after this quick break.